I am Vikas. I'm in the product management team of UCS at Cisco. Just wanted to make sure slides are flipping. So today I am here to share some of the good updates that we have made to UCS product line. Yes, UCS is here and still continuing to thrive. So I'll start with actually some of the market momentum that we continue to see around it. Then we'll go into the specifics of product update that we have made and we have on show floor. We'll quickly touch upon Intersight, some interesting updates there, and we'll wrap up, time permitting, we'll wrap up our session with a look into the future technologies of interest and how they're going to be impacting the platform of tomorrow. So first, though, let me paint a picture on the data center product portfolio that Cisco has, and UCS is part of that product portfolio. So at the very bottom in the gray, you have some products listed there, Nexus, UCS, and so forth. In green is where a lot of focus goes on to bring the automation as you deploy those products and maintain it. In the blue, you have the software products, which bridge the gap between the on-prem and the public cloud for the customer workload to be deployed. And in that category, you have AppD, Cisco Cloud Center, Container Platform, and so forth. And in orange, you have the security products that we have got. Security is at the heart and the center of any product design that we do. The Cisco UCS is right there, and this session is going to be only about the UCS. Everything else will probably be covered in the separate sessions. So just to get started, let's talk about the momentum. This product was released a decade ago. We are pleased to share with you, I think this is publicly available and out. We are now #1 worldwide share in blade market. #1 in Americas in blade revenue, and we continue to hold the performance benchmark records across various categories. Customer momentum standpoint, over 55,000 customers. Yes, 8 or 9 years ago, actually we celebrated 10 years, so it's a decade of journey with UCS. 55,000 customers. HyperFlex, that was released just 3 years ago, continues to grow rapidly, over 4,000 customers. And Intersight, which is the latest addition, is also growing rapidly, and we have over 3,000 customers. We continue to roll out Cisco Validated Design. For those who are not familiar with Cisco Validated Design, we not only roll out the product, but we also invest time in putting together the solutions which give our customers the recipes and automation scripts to deploy their workload. You can stand up the entire infrastructure, OS install, all the way to the application level. We provide the complete recipe, and we provide the front-end support if customers run into any issue. So we have over 250 plus of those Cisco Validated Design out there. We have shipped tons of storage through our partnership with a variety of storage partners there and HyperFlex. And today, happy to announce, Cisco Intersight manages over 500,000 devices across the geography. It's a significant number. I have a slide coming up to talk about that.
I'm going to interrupt you already, starting now. So that's quite a lot of devices managed by Intersight. So Is Intersight kind of supersetting UCS Manager, or are they staying side by side?
Yeah, so that's an incremental journey. The Intersight has taken the steps to take the manageability to the next level, especially because of that fact, the scale, the cross-site, and all those things. Eventually, yes, it is going to provide everything that UCS Manager does and more. I'll not spend much time on it, but typically people ask about the product differentiation. This is a slide that speaks about the value prop that customers see. We are known for reduction in the provisioning time. We are known for reduction in cabling, and that comes from the unified fabric that we have. Reduction in management cost, to service-based profile, and so forth. The reduction of power and cooling. We are known for performance, so accelerate your workload. And we are known for reducing your deployment time because of the Cisco Validated Design. This is a quick look at the Cisco portfolio that has evolved over the year. Product for Robo. Then in the second is where the core UCS platform is, which brought the converged compute and network to the market. Building on top of that is converged infrastructure product, which we created working with the top tier storage partners. We released hyper-converged, which again builds off the same underlying architecture of UCS with HyperFlex software. And then the products on the right three are very application-oriented. There are applications which are core-sensitive. So for that, we released C4200, which packs many, many cores. It's built off AMD CPUs. Then there are use cases where you need tons of local storage. So that's where S-series goes in. And then finally, the new thing, machine learning, deep learning. For that, we have C480ML, which packs tons of CUDA cores. In that 4U box, you have 40,000 CUDA cores. Even though you may think that there are several different product lines, here is one interesting aspect. They have been built out of same common architecture. We call it, it's one system which powers all the workload. So our journey started with blade and rack servers, and we targeted the mainstream enterprise workload. But as we figured out the need for other application requirements, we started to add more servers. For memory-sensitive applications, we added C480, B480. For GPU-sensitive applications, we added 480ML. Storage, so S-series came in. And high-density core, you got the C4200s, 2U, 4-node. They are all fundamentally powered by the same common architecture that brought UCS to the market. So that adherence to that common fundamental architecture has allowed us to deliver the consistent manageability experience, the same benefit across all product line, and has helped us with the velocity with which we release the product with one of the finest engineering teams that we have got.
You're not building your own CI solution now, right?
Our CI solution is continuing to be with our partners.
With the partners, right?
Sorry?
You're going to do that with your partners, not as Cisco itself.
So historically, the CI solutions we have always done with the partners. We roll out the reference architecture, so we'll continue to do that.
Okay.
Did I understand?
Yeah, but it's not that you show the stack like it is. One could ask itself if you're going to build your own CI stack as Cisco.
Oh, got it. That's a good catch. I should have probably included CI right in the middle one, because that's the product that we came out with. So we absolutely intend to continue with the CI product line the way it was depicted in the prior slide. Good catch. Yeah. OK, so now let's talk about some of the platform updates. Okay. So first, our Fabric interconnect is entering the 4th generation. So we're increasing both the port density as well as the port bandwidth there. So this one will have 7.4 terabits of switching performance. 96 ports providing 10 or 25 gig capability, and 12 uplink ports with 40 or 100 gig capabilities. Those 16 unified ports could be either run as Ethernet or fiber channel with 8, 16, or 32 gig, depending on the customer's scenarios. Fabric interconnect is complemented with corresponding WIC. Our WICs are known to reduce the number of HBAs that the customers need, because you can, on one WIC, you can instantiate n number of Ethernet cards or n number of logical FC cards. So they're at the heart of convergence of the fabric and the reduction of the HBAs that customers would otherwise need. They're entering the 4th generation, and we are introducing the WICs, which are 10, 25, 40, or 100 gig capable. They will have NVMe over fabric built on Rocky V2, fiber channel over NVMe support, and the VXLAN, the NVGRE, virtual machine multiple queue, TCAM filters, and so forth.
Just a quick question on the Fabric interconnect update. Which ASIC is inside this 4th generation?
What's the magic?
The ASIC.
The ASIC.
Oh, what's the ASIC inside this?
Yes. Is it a Cisco one or is it merchant silicon?
So the ASIC we built, but I don't know which vendor we're using, so you'll have to excuse me for that one. But I'll get you the answer with the product manager in there. Okay. My apologies. Okay. Then we are introducing, this is a net new addition to our family of products. We are introducing, and this is on the show floor, we are introducing a short depth rack server. This is purpose-built for edge and remote locations. This is going to provide up to 4 drives with 2 PCIe GPU, or 6 drives, SATA, NVMe, SAS, any one of those choice. And this is going to be introduced sometime summer this year. And this is on the show floor. The C480ML, our server for machine learning is getting a refresh. It will have Cascade Lake and Optane Drive support. And finally, our high core density server is getting the AMD next generation processor refresh to drive up the performance there. So in total, this is the update that we are sharing with our partners, customers at the Cisco Live. It's a great effort that has gone in by our engineering team, and this is a reflection of our commitment to the customers in the UCS product line that the comment was made earlier.
Just a quick question regarding this, because you have now AMD added to the portfolio. Do you see a high demand on that? Because at the moment, AMD is more or less catching up when it comes to horsepowers on the CPU.
Great question. So the products that we have...
If I can, I would really argue on your argument, because I think that in the data center world, we're really excited about AMD, because you are getting much more power than you're getting with an Intel CPU, and you're also getting all of that, the same amount of cores in a single CPU, you know? So you are, for now, you can cut your costs on virtualization. Yeah, so by counting one CPU instead of two, so all of the major enterprise organizations are really evaluating at the moment AMD Rome. So I think that it's a great thing. It's a great thing to have, because you can end up. So the thing is, what's going to happen if, for example, VMware decides that they change totally their licensing method? They can very well install not a vMemory tax, but a vCore tax, and just render the whole argument irrelevant. But I think that there's really huge demand for AMD.
Yeah, so maybe don't get me wrong. I see AMD is now in the position that they have, after 10 years where Intel dominated the market, a very competitive product, yeah? And I think that was kind of my question. I'm not a server person, but I can imagine that a lot of people are looking into AMD and is keen to get that box into their data centers, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. We're beginning to see the demand. I wouldn't say it's at the same level yet as Intel is, and as Max pointed out, they're exploratory phase. And we'll learn more as we get into the market, as we drive it. Probably in the next tech field session, I'll be able to share more data. But it's in the early phase. We do see the demand. That's why we are building this product.
So while we're on this slide and talking about hardware and what's coming soon, I have to ask this question, and you don't have, of course, to answer it. But as you said, UCS has been around for 10 years. I think we're still using the same 5108 chassis, which, if I remember, when I was still making UCS quotes, was given to be end of life around 2020, 2021. So I think we're getting at the age of a refresh, which may not be now, maybe this summer, I guess. But how all of these components play with what's coming next? Because something has to come next, right? I mean, if I have a chassis which is expiring, I don't know if you're going to continue that. So not asking you to answer 100%, but is there some kind of backwards or forward compatibility in these elements we're seeing here?
Absolutely. So I will answer it in two parts. One right now, and other as I get into my last two slides on the future technology trends. First, in the UCS, the reason the chassis has not changed over the 10 years is not because we have not innovated and evolved. The way it was designed, the chassis, allowed us to keep on evolving and innovating on the blades. That's why every time Intel required us, the blades changed. So it has kept on changing. We had enough real estate to keep on fitting in more and more DRAMs, and also it has completely been changing. But the founders, and I can't take the credit, I wasn't there, did really an excellent job of evangelizing a chassis that will do good to us over 10 years and still be the market leader. Oh. And we do, and the second part I'll answer in the second, and we do see even as we move forward, there is enough substance in that chassis to let it continue while allowing us to innovate at the places that it is desired to be evolved. And I'll cover that, some of them.
So you see no barriers to have maybe an AMD Rome blade at one point in time, yeah?
That would be completely market-driven. Right now, we saw the high density demand. That's why 2U4N came in. And we want to learn with the market as well.
But no technical limitations from your end to have this in the existing
That's correct. That's correct. The way the system is designed, yes. The CPUs could be, yeah. All right. So a quick update. So this is not a HyperFlex session, but since this pertains to the platform, I have one slide on HyperFlex, all NVMe HyperFlex in particular. So as if you'd recall, all NVMe HyperFlex was launched last year. When it was released, it was the first fully integrated all NVMe hyperconverged from any vendor with full RAS features. So NVMe drives brought a very unique challenge. Unlike SATA and SAS, they were challenged on the hot plug and the LED management and firmware upgrade because the NVMe drives connect directly to the CPUs. So someone had to solve the issue of hot plug, surprise removal, LED light, and all those things. Us owning the platform allowed us the opportunity to do that. We own the platform, we own the BIOS, we have a strong relationship with Intel, and we own the software. So we released it. There was a very big focus on that. We focused on performance, and we continued improving it through the last year. And if you compare our all NVMe HyperFlex with all flash, we are the market leaders in all flash in terms of performance. Even considering that all NVMe takes the performance to the next level. You get 90% more IOPS, 50% lower latency, and latency has been one thing that we have been laser focused on, and sustained latency thereof. We released solutions over the last year on Oracle Rack. Sorry.
You're saying you're the leader in something.
In performance. In the yeah. So and there are publicly available white paper and benchmark results from independent vendors. We are leader in terms of delivering the performance, both in terms of IOPS and latency.
Yeah, okay, but for storage, for HCI, for
HyperFlex.
This HyperFlex. This is all NVMe HyperFlex.
Okay.
This
Yeah, okay.
HyperFlex, yeah. So this hyperconverged solution.
Hyperconverged infrastructure.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Then recently we released 8 terabyte drives for all NVMe, 8 terabyte NVMe drives. So that takes your per node raw capacity to 64 terabyte. So couple that capacity with the performance, now users have unique opportunity to consolidate their VMs even further in a smaller footprint. And all this thing, and this is the key announcement that we are making, we have worked with our drive partners to take all NVMe and make it mainstream, because one of the prohibiting factors in mass adoption of all NVMe has been the cost. So far, we had been selling it at 3x, and it was primarily driven from the NVMe drives. Happy to announce today, you get all this benefit at only 5% premium, which is a throwaway premium over all flash. And for 8 terabyte capacity, including the software license. So we are now taking all NVMe mainstream. Okay. Was there a question? Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. I'll just switch back. Okay. All right. So with that, let me cover a few statistics on Intersight. So Intersight, as you may know, it's a cloud-hosted management platform. It is changing the management experience completely in terms of how people view and manage and install and deploy the UCS and Fabric Interconnect all over their data centers. Today, we have over 450,000 plus connected UCS servers being managed by this centralized management platform. Over 46,000 Fabric Interconnects are managed with Intersight. Over 26,500 HyperFlex nodes are being managed through Intersight, and 6,000 plus HyperFlex clusters are being managed. The power of Intersight actually becomes very evident when customers are happy that we are reporting to them the problem that they may see or they may already have with the resolution. And the way it works is we have centralized telemetry being done. We are constantly looking into the challenge that customers may run into, and if there is an error, we automatically open the TAC ticket. If there is a known instance of that issue, we also send a guidance on how to fix it. So it's been just truly a differentiating experience from the customer's standpoint, which is driving the popularity and the adoption of Intersight.
Quick question on this slide. When you say connected, you're referring to the cloud-based version of Intersight, or are you talking overall as a mix of cloud-based, Intersight plus on-premises versions?
Only cloud-based.
Okay. So it may be more than that in the end.
Yes, actually, the on-premise version of Intersight is not publicly available yet. So I think this is the number. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got 26,000-ish connected HyperFlex servers.
Yes.
Or nodes, let's put it that way.
Yep.
And you've got, I think it was 4,500 customers.
4,000 plus customers, yeah.
So that's around 6?
Oh, no. So not all HyperFlex are being managed with Intersight.
Okay.
So the numbers are much more, but these many nodes are being managed by Intersight.
Okay.
Intersight in the cloud, yeah?
Intersight in the cloud,
right.
yes.
So if somebody is doing his on-premise, then you don't have the numbers, yeah?
Yes, so that is the number we don't have. Absolutely right. Okay, and our hope is as more and more customers see and they start using it, eventually all of them will be managed through Intersight. Okay. So this is phenomenal. Given just 2 years of Intersight being there and with the incremental product updates that is coming in, we are seeing very good traction. And the other thing that Intersight-based management model has provided us is the velocity with which we could roll out the features. Just from the time it was released to now, look at the number of features that we have rolled out, and the cadence and the velocity has been just amazing. This is both a reflection of the architecture and the engineering team, as well as our commitment to drive it and lead the transformation of the management experience for our customers. Okay, so with that, let's switch over to, before I switch over to the futures, any other questions so far? Because I'm going to turn into a little bit of look into the future and what we see is happening and so forth. Any questions?
I was just curious, you showed before the P-cert advisories, yeah?
The other one?
P-cert, yeah? Can you just give me some background information? So how is this working? If the P-cert releases an advisory or vulnerability, you immediately have this in Intersight, and then you say, okay, customer, you have to patch this and this device because they are vulnerable to this new released.
Absolutely. Now we don't have to make a call, and all this is fully automated.
Okay.
We automatically know what all systems are impacted. We already have contact information, a way of sending the email and everything. You are just leveraging that infrastructure to push down the security vulnerabilities, and in cases where the agreements are in place, patches as well, so that users don't even have to worry about it.
Okay.
So it starts with advisories, then we'll get over there.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I think in the past, the pain, yeah, there's a vulnerability, you have to check all your devices, which versions, make comparisons, and then the patch level and so on, yeah.
And that's a very important point that you picked up. I think that was the first order of that problem was having an ability to inventory and maintain every component that goes into the compute system. So that's what UCS Manager solved years ago. That anything that goes into the UCS Manager, it's all we maintain and manage it down to the firmware level. So we had good visibility into what's in there. Now we are coupling that, since we are bringing it into Intersight. Now we have collection of all the UCS system that are there with that level of control down to the drive firmware level. So regardless of where the security implications are, we can instrument and do that. Even the drive firmware vendors that we work with, they have to adhere to certain interfaces and all that we require to manage the firmware. So we leverage all those to do that. So very excellent point that you picked up. Okay, so with that, let's transition into future a little bit. So Max was right, that future is interesting. We just started putting together on the whiteboard, what are the keywords that we hear? Not all of them are compute, but this is not even half the keywords that I have put in there. Several different things are going on. So then we said, all right, let's at least bucketize them into some categories so that we can start working towards that, start assessing our UCS system, our product line as to where the implication could be. And the 4 buckets that we came out are this. Sorry for the color coordination here. These are 4 buckets that we came out with. In compute side, the impact that is going to happen is because of the high watt CPUs. High watt CPUs from Intel, they're touching 350 watts and north. GPUs, 400 watt and north of it. Persistent memory, just a game changer. SmartNIC, FPGA offload, incrementally finding the use case all over again. In the fabric side, 400 gig coming up, PCIe Gen 4 took 10 years to come. Gen 5 is right around the corner now. CXL, which runs on PCI, Memory Fabric, Gen G, NVLink, and so forth. So looking at this bucket allowed us to start assessing our UCS system. And as we pointed out earlier, the good thing that we have, yes, we have to evolve. Yes, we have to do the things. But we don't have to dramatically just change everything. Because if you map it out into what the ideal infrastructure should look like, it calls out for it should have the space for accelerators. So it should be designed with the real estate and power in mind, which our UCS already currently provides that. All those things delivered in a very composable fashion could make the composability itself very complex if it's not done right. That's where our founding service profile architecture with expansion will come handy. So we have experience, we have foundation to work on. And as PCI Gen 5 and other 400 gig comes in, if you have, can you imagine having another set of fabric coming in and complicating things? So that's where our existing FI and VIC architecture comes handy. We are just going to evolve it further. And then infinite scale, it's a factor of the management. That's where Intersight is making the steps so that it doesn't matter. You can have n number of units, all those things, 500,000 can go easily to 500 million, no problems. So the point I was trying to make is, yes, you are looking into the futures, but what we are blessed with is, the founding team and the engineering team has given us an architecture which will evolve, but we don't really require to do a dramatic change into this one.